Hello friends, today I am going to solve CUCET 2020 physics paper. This is the part 1 video from question 26 to question 15. Okay, so without any delay, let's start guys. Question 26. For vectors A equal to j plus k, B equal to 2i plus 3j minus 5k and C equal to j minus k, the vector product A cross B cross C is. So first calculate B cross C by this method. So B cross C equal to 2i cap plus 2j cap plus 2k cap. Now it is asking for A cross B cross C. So calculate this as well. Final expression is 2j cap minus 2k cap, which is 2 times of C, vector C. This vector product is in the same direction as C. Question 27. The value of partial differential del 2f by del y del z of the function of this function is equal to. First, take the partial derivative with respect to z of this function. Then, after that, take the partial derivative with respect to y. The first z and then y. And answer is going to be option D, minus 6x square plus 48xy square z minus 10z raised to power 4. Question 28. Given that f3 equal to 6, f prime 3 equal to 8 and f double prime at 3 equal to 11 and other higher order derivatives of fx in Taylor's theorem are 0 at x equal to 3, and assuming the function and all its derivatives exist and are continuous between x equal to 3 and x equal to 7, then the value of f7 is equal to. Use the Taylor's theorem, Taylor's expansion, fx plus h equal to fx plus h f prime x plus h square f double prime x divided by factorial 2 plus h cube f triple prime x divided by factorial 3 dot dot dot. And here take x equal to 3. Around 3 we have to expand the Taylor series and take h equal to 4 to get 7 value. Okay. Then f7 equal to f3 plus 4 f prime 3 plus 4 square f double prime 3 divided by factorial 2 plus and so on. And third order and higher order is going to be 0. Put the values of second order and first order derivative at value x equal to 3. Then f7 equal to this. So answer is going to be 126. Option C is correct here. Question 29. Which of the following complex number is equivalent to 3 minus 5i divided by 8 plus 2i? For this type of question, just multiply by the complex conjugate both sides, numerator and denominator. Then you will get that this is the complex conjugate of this denominator. To remove the imaginary part in denominator, we multiplied this by the complex conjugate of the denominator part. So 8 minus 2i, numerator and denominator both. So this is going to be 14 minus 46i divided by 48 equal to 7 divided by 34 minus 23i by 34. Option C is correct here. Question 30. The value of gradient of t equal to x square y plus e raised to power z at point P152 is equal to. So take the gradient of any scalar function is going to be a vector quantity. So gradient formula is written here, I cap del over del x plus j cap del over del y plus k cap del over del z of the function. Function is given here, x square y plus e raised to power z. So put it there and solve it. So this is going to be 2 times xy I cap plus x square j cap plus e raised to power z k cap, and at x equal to 1, y equal to 5 and z equal to 2. Gradient of f is going to be 10 I cap plus j plus e square. E square value is 7.389 k cap. So none of these option is correct. So this question is option is not correct. Question 31. The letters x and y represent rectangular coordinates. The conversion of equation x square plus y square minus 4x equal to 0 in polar coordinates or theta will be. In Cartesian coordinate system, this is x and y. In polar coordinate, let's this point make angle theta from this x-axis. Distance from origin of this point equal to r. Then particular this value, this x value is going to be r cos theta and y is going to be r sin theta. Put it in this expression and so x square plus y square minus 4x equal to 0. So x equal to r cos theta, y equal to r sin theta. After solving it, r equal to 4 cos theta. Option B is correct. Question 32. The aerial velocity of planet in a central force field is. So it is going to be constant or conserved. So this is the Kepler's 3 law. First law is orbits are ellipse. Second law, equal area in equal time. And third law, time period square proportional to semi-major axis power 3. So t square proportional to a cube. Aerial velocity is the area covered in a unit time. In unit time, equal area is covered. That's why aerial velocity is going to be conserved or constant. Option B is correct here. Question 33. Consider an object with a velocity v in a frame of reference which rotates with a constant angular velocity omega. The Coriolis force experienced by the object is. The Coriolis force experienced by the object F Coriolis equal to 2m v cross omega. So v is the velocity of the object and omega is angular velocity of frame. This force is going to be perpendicular to both velocity and omega since it is a cross product. So option C is going to be correct, perpendicular to both v and omega. Question 34. Two particles of equal mass moves towards each other with velocities 2v and v respectively. The magnitude of the velocity of center of mass will be. Two bodies moving opposite to each other, same mass and their velocity is 2v and v. Take one as positive, then other is going to be negative since they are moving opposite to each other. Velocity of center of mass vcm equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 divided by m1 plus m2 and it is going to be v by 2. So velocity of center of mass of the system is v by 2 in the direction of motion of particle having larger velocity or larger magnitude of velocity. So option C is correct here, v by 2. Question 35. The mass per unit length of a rod of 2 meter length varies as rho equal to 3x kg per meter. The moment of inertia in kg meter square of the rod about a perpendicular axis passing through the tip of the rod at x equal to 0 is. For a uniform rod, moment of inertia about center axis passing through middle point equal to ml square by 12 and axis passing through one edge, moment of inertia equal to ml square by 3. But here it is non-uniform rod and density of rod varies as rho equal to 3x kg per meter. For this case, use particular this formula I E equal to 0 to L r square dm. Take a small element of this rod at distance x, then mass of this dx element is going to be density multiplied by this dx, so rho dx. Moment of inertia of rod through edge I equal to 0 to L r square dm. Distance from here to here is x, so x square and dm mass of this element equal to density multiplied by dx, so rho dx. Put the value of rho from here 3x, then this expression is going to be 3x cube dx. Integrate it, so x raised to power 4 divided by 4 and limit 0 to 2 equal to 3 into 4 equal to 12 kg meter square. Option C is correct here. Question 36. A thin lens of refractive index 1.5 is kept inside a liquid of refractive index 4 by 3. If the focal length of the lens in air is 10 cm, then the focal length inside the liquid will be. Focal length in the air Fa, focal length in water Fw. So mu g is given here 1.5. This is refractive index of the glass of lens and this is refractive index of the water medium. Divide this expression by this, so Fw divided by Fa equal to mu g minus 1 divided by mu g divided by mu w minus 1. Put the corresponding values from here. Refractive index of the glass of lens is equal to 1.5. Refractive index of water is equal to 4 by 3. Value of focal length of lens in water is going to be 40 centimeter. Option C is correct. Question 37. Three sinusoidal waves have the same frequency with amplitude A by 2 and A by 3 while their initial phase angles are 0, pi by 2 and pi respectively. The amplitude of the resultant wave will be. The resultant amplitude of wave 1 and 3. So wave 1 and 3 have the opposite phases. A minus A by 3. Result of this wave 1 and third is going to be 2A by 3. And with respect to this result, wave number 2 is at 90 degree right angle. Phase difference is pi by 2. Superimposition of this with wave having pi by 2 phase difference is going to be square root of 2A by 3 square plus A by 2 ka whole square equal to 5A by 6. In another way you can also do it by writing the expression. The first wave equal to A sin phi, no phase difference 0, and second wave is A by 2 sin phi plus pi by 2, this one equal to A by 2 cos phi, and third wave is A by 3 sin phi plus phi equal to minus A by 3 sin phi. Resultant of E1 and E3 is going to be 2A by 3 sin phi, and resultant of this with this is going to be square root of 2A by 3 whole square plus A by 2 whole square equal to 5A by 6. So option C is correct here. Question 38. A lightly damped harmonic oscillator with natural frequency omega 0 is driven by a periodic force of frequency omega. The amplitude of oscillation is maximum when? The maximum amplitude results when the frequency of the driving force equals to the natural frequency of the system. Omega 0 equal to omega. In that condition, it has the highest amplitude A. And same question was also asked in CUCET 2017 exam. Question 39. A train passes through a station with a constant speed. A stationary observer at the station platform measures the tone of the train whistle as 484 Hz when it approaches the station and 442 Hz when it leaves the station. If sound velocity in air is 330 meter per second, then the tone of the whistle and the speed of the train are respectively. To use the Doppler effect, F equal to F0 V plus minus V observer divided by V plus minus V source. So this is the original frequency. V is speed of sound wave. Whenever observer and source approaching towards each other, then take plus minus sign accordingly such that F is greater than F0 when they are going away from each other. In that condition, F should be less than F0. Okay, accordingly you can choose your plus minus sign here. This should be higher than this one. So there is negative sign. V is sound velocity 330 meter per second given here. So this, and V observer, since observer is stationary, that's why this value is taken 0 here. Similarly, when train passes through station or leaving the particular observer, in that condition this is going to be less than this actual frequency. Take plus sign here, V plus V source. Okay, so 330 divided by 330 plus Vs. F approach is given 484 when train is approaching the observer or station. At that condition, frequency is 484, and when it is leaving the station, in that condition it is 442. To solve this equation, from here you will get that velocity of source or velocity of train is 15 meter per second or 54 kilometer per hour. Now put the value of source in this expression. F approach equal to 484 equal to this F0, and 330 divided by 330 minus 15. After solving it, you will get that F0 equal to 462. So train speed is 54 km per hour. Tone of the whistle is 462 Hz. Option A is correct here. Question 40. A stationary wave is produced in a string of length 1.25 meters. If 3 notes and 2 antinodes are produced in the string, then the wavelength of the wave is. This is shown for an stationary wave. This point is called as node and this is antinode, and at node point amplitude is going to be 0. At antinode amplitude of the wave is highest. Distance between two successive nodes is equal to lambda by 2. Distance between node and adjacent antinode is lambda by 4. 3 nodes and 2 antinodes. So this is 3 nodes and in between there are 2 antinodes as well. So this length is going to be equal to lambda. So string of length 1.25 meters, then the wavelength of the wave is same 1.25 meters. Option D is correct here. Question 41. An unpolarized light falls on a flat material with an angle of incidence at 60 degree. The reflected light is found to be completely polarized. The velocity of refracted ray inside the material is. Use the Brewster's law. Refractive index mu equal to tan polarizing angle. Polarizing angle is 60 degree here. Tan 60 degree equal to square root 3, and also refractive index mu equal to speed of light divided by velocity in a particular medium. So C by V. From here find out V equal to square root 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second. So velocity of the refracted ray inside the material is square root 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second. Option A is correct. Question 42. A point charge Q is located at the center of a cube of as length A. The electric flux through one face of the cube will be. Total flux from any closed body is going to be Q divided by epsilon naught. Q is equal to total charge enclosed in that body. Here it is a cube, and because the charge is placed at the center, therefore due to symmetry all 6 sides of the cube are equivalent, so the same flux flows through each side. A cube has 6 sides, then this flux is going to divide equally in all 6 faces. So 1 by 6 multiplied by total flux, so Q by 6 epsilon naught electric flux will pass through one face of the cube. Option B is correct. Question 43. A point charge Q is rotated along a circle in the electric field generated by another point charge Q. The work done by the electric field on the rotating charge in one complete revolution is. Because the electric field is a conservative field, the work done around the closed path is going to be 0. Option C is correct. Question 44. In a series LCR circuit, on increasing the value of capacitance 4 times the value of inductance in order to keep the resonant frequency unchanged. So resonant frequency formula F equal to 1 divided by 2 pi square root L by C. Now capacitance is increased by 4 times. For resonant frequency to be unchanged, L inductance should be reduced by 4 times. So inductance L prime equal to L by 4. Option D is correct. Question 45. The charge capital Q is divided into 2 parts, Q and capital Q minus Q, so that the force between the charges is maximum at any separation. Then Q is equal to electrostatic force between them, F equal to K Q multiplied by capital Q minus Q divided by R square. R is separation between them. For any extremum point, dF with respect to dQ should be 0. We are varying charge Q. That's why derivative taken with respect to Q here, and just derivate it and find the solution. So Q equal to capital Q divided by 2. So this is point of extremum. Here it can be maxima or minima. Take the second derivative. After taking second derivative, it is going to be a negative value and independent of this charge as well. So always it is going to be maxima at this value. Q equal to capital Q by 2. So at capital Q by 2, the force between them is maximum. Option D is correct. Question 46. An oscillating voltage V T equal to V naught cos omega t is applied across a parallel plate capacitor having a plate separation D. The displacement current density through the capacitor is. Changing electric field creates magnetic field. Mu naught epsilon naught d phi E divided by dt equal to integration B dot dl, and this is also equal to mu naught I. From here I equal to epsilon naught d phi E by dt, and electric flux phi E is equal to E multiplied by A. Value of electric field also equal to V by D, potential divided by distance. By putting all these values, I equal to epsilon naught d phi E by dt, take the derivative of this phi E value. Phi E is given here, and displacement current density I divided by A equal to minus epsilon naught omega V naught sin omega t by d. Option D is correct. There is another method. Directly you can take the formula from the Maxwell's equation, del cross H equal to J plus epsilon del E over del T. So this is the displacement current density. JD equal to epsilon naught del E divided by del T. Put the value of E. E equal to V divided by D. V equal to given here, and just derivate it, and answer is option D. Question 47. A proton enters a magnetic field with a velocity at right angle to the magnetic field. The path followed by the proton will be path of charged particle in uniform magnetic field B when velocity is parallel to magnetic field, can be parallel or anti-parallel. In that condition, it is a straight line. When V perpendicular to B, then it will make a circular path, and V neither parallel nor perpendicular, in that condition it makes helical path. So option C is correct here, and sometimes it also asks about the radius of that particular circular path. Use the centripetal force equal to magnetic force mv square by r equal to qvb, because it is at right angle, so V cross B equal to Vb. From here r equal to mv divided by qb. And sometimes it can also ask about the radius of electron and proton path. In that condition, since mass of electron is less than mass of proton, so radius of this circular path for electron is less than radius of proton circular path. Question 48. The value of dP by P for an adiabatic expansion of a gas is, for an adiabatic expansion, P V raised to power gamma is equal to constant, gamma is adiabatic constant Cp by Cv, and take the derivative one by one. So V raised to power gamma dP plus P gamma V raised to power gamma minus 1 dV equal to 0, since it is a constant. From here dP by P equal to minus gamma dV by V. Option C is correct here. Question 49. Which of the following quantities is 0 on an average for molecules of an ideal gas in equilibrium? Guys, please like, comment and subscribe. You can also share with your friends and do the study in group. Solve the problems if you are getting stuck in between. Take the help from your friends. Kinetic energy, density and speed, these are the scalar quantities, and momentum is a vector quantities. Since momentum is a vector quantity, for each direction of motion of the molecule there is a direction of motion opposite to the other. Therefore, the average momentum for an ideal gas in equilibrium is going to be 0. Question 50. Which one of the following is not a thermodynamic function? So, thermodynamic function is enthalpy, Gibbs energy, internal energy, free energy, and work done is not a thermodynamic function, it is a path dependent function. And I will make a next video for remaining questions. And also guys, on daily basis I am uploading questions on community tab. You can visit my channel, and in community section you can find daily 2 questions. One question regarding the general test and other question about the physics part. This is going to be very helpful for you. You can test yourself as well कि you are able to solve the questions or not. This is like a test for you guys. And there is also a playlist section. From playlist you can watch other videos based on MSc entrance. Other videos also there. You have time, then you can go and visit other videos, assistant professor and lecturer videos. You can easily find the questions which are from BSc course. Select that questions and make the notes for that as well. Next video will be uploaded soon. Do preparation. Good luck. Bye bye.